So I'll get started here with my favorite topic with Young Living. I was going to do my do talk because a lot of my team members, they usually call me the poop doctor because my favorite topic literally is talking about do. How do you do and all the different reasons your poop changes color and all that fun stuff, but I won't get into that. You guys are here because you want to absolutely feel amazing for the holidays, right? But when we get together, the problem is the holidays are filled with a lot of stress. Sorry guys, I'm gonna, there we go, okay. The holidays are filled with a lot of stress, picking out the right gifts, food we need to make, how to fit into everything, and how to fit in our, how to fit everything into our tight schedules, right? I don't know about you guys, but when the holidays come around, I overeat a lot, as do probably many of us. And a lot of us probably, at the holidays kind of give ourselves the, hey, it's okay, it's the holidays, I'm going to eat everything I want. But unfortunately, that puts a lot of undue stress on our digestive system. Not only does that put undue stress on our digestive system, but the stress of getting together with family members, picking out all those gifts. A lot of people have a lot of increased stress and feel anxious. And unfortunately, you guys, those emotions suppress our digestion. Why is my screen not? When we overeat, a lot of times we're going to feel bloated, have lack of energy to even play those games that we want to play with our loved ones. That turns into a lot of lack of energy. And I don't know about you guys, but if I overeat, I'm sitting there looking at the dishes and I'm like, I don't know about you guys, I want to sit in that chair, veg and watch TV and have nothing to do with those dishes, right? A lot of people want to sit on the couch, watch football, and even eat some more. And that turns into a lot of people falling asleep and snoring, right? And then here's one of my favorites. So if you overeat, your stomach can only digest so much fat at a time. And if you overeat, you're going to be running to the bathroom and you're praying that the person's house you're at has the exact right poopery, right? Because you don't want to explode in somebody else's house. And if you are holding it, you guys, guess what? That's really, really bad for your digestive system. So this is on Young Living's The Lavender Life. I just took it off there, a great poopery recipe. So if you're thinking about, oils you need to have for your holiday survival kit, you might want to put some purification. You can put any oils that you want in here for your bathroom spray or your poopery. So I just absolutely love that one. Now myself, I don't know if you guys know this, but I suffered with digestive issues almost my entire life. I can tell you from experience, if I'm not taking care of my gut, my life is absolutely miserable. I have no energy. I have no desire to do anything. And I've suffered with on and off depression to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything except literally sit and watch Netflix, watch Hallmark romance movies all day long. So somebody tells me they suffer with horrible digestive issues, I instantly know that they have emotional drama that comes with it. Before I was introduced to Young Living, I thought I'd be on meds and over-the-counter prescriptions for the rest of my life to be able to make it through the day, you guys, without a horrible gut ache. Then I was introduced to Young Living, Digize, and some incredible training from Gary at different seminars on gut health. When I went to some of those seminars, you guys, that Gary was teaching, I literally felt like I got more education and training out of those than I did at 6 years of college. It was absolutely unbelievable. After learning about the colon cleanse, because there wasn't the 5-day cleanse that there is now, there was the colon cleanse. I did that one. Then I did the liver cleanse, the kidney flush, all the different products in that I think it's Inner Transformations book. I did all those different cleanses. And then what I found out is what I could use to help me maintain my health. And that was, I learned to drink 50% of my body weight in water. I made sure to get enough sleep. I learned that I had to keep my stress in check, because if I got too stressed out, it would really suppress my digestion and my gut would be killing me. I learned that maybe it was for my personality, or I know it's for most of us, but I needed extra enzymes to digest my food and to just really feel better. Life 9, because when you're under a lot of stress, you guys, and you've ever taken antibiotics, it really wipes out that good bacteria in your gut. Ningxia Red is an absolute must-have. Fortunately, being a Royal Crown Diamond, my family can go through 1 to 2 bottles of Ninja Red every single morning. But I really love that because it helps with those antioxidants to combat some of that inflammation that we deal with from overeating or just digestion woes, right? Master Formula. I'll never forget going through learning about the 5-day cleanse, and they talked about why they formulated the Balance Complete. And it has all the vitamins and minerals in it necessary to help your body with phase 1 to 2 liver detoxification, or neutralizing some of those chemicals and compounds. So when I learned some of that stuff, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not getting enough vitamins and minerals in my diet. I need to add that. And when I started adding just a multivitamin every day, you guys, I couldn't believe how much more energy I actually had. If you're like me and stress just overwhelms you, I typically burn through B vitamins really, really fast. And most of us, I think around the holidays, really burn through those Bs really fast. And when I started doing those different types of things, I started to notice that I had a lot more energy. I felt better. I could get some stuff done. And I turned into this person who could just work and work and work. So how I got my gut back together, you guys, was I started with the the cleansing trio. And then I did the kidney flush. I worked on my liver. I took the Juvitone, all that stuff. And then just kind of on maintenance, I had to make sure that I got enough sleep, drank my water, decreased my stress, took my enzymes every single meal, Life 9, Ninja Red, Master Formula, and B. And that really keeps me kind of balanced and feeling absolutely amazing. So I'm very, very grateful to Young Living and Gary for, starting me on that path of education to gut health, because gut health, you guys, 80% of your immune system is in the gut. And if you want to feel better, the gut is absolutely the key. And it doesn't matter what you're suffering from, you always start with the gut, even if it's emotions. But you guys are here because you want to feel amazing throughout the holidays, right? You probably don't want to feel bloated. You don't want to have that achy gut. Probably don't want to sleep all day. And most people want to have enough energy to play and have fun. I don't know about you guys, but my family plays a lot of cards around the holidays. And if I'm not feeling so hot, I'd rather just sit on the couch and veg. But there's 2 things I want to share with you guys tonight. A little bit of anatomy and physiology, okay? And then a holiday survival plan for healthier digestion. Sound good? Carol, I'm so happy I can see your face. So if you guys could put in the chat, I'm just really, really curious, where do you think digestion starts? So when you think about digestion, where does digestion start? Let's see if I can see the chat here. The mouth, brain, mouth, chewing. Okay, super excited to go through this. Digestion, you guys, actually starts in the brain. It's the sight, sound, smell, and thought of food that triggers the brain to transmit signals down the central nervous system through this guy. Let's see, why is I'm not going? Aha, right here. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but this yellow cord right here is called the vagus nerve, okay? That nerve connects your brain to your lungs, to your heart, to your liver. You can see it goes even to the gallbladder, pancreas, and those intestines. They actually call the gut your second brain. And what I find is so interesting is that when you were first conceived and when you were being created, did you guys know that the gut and brain were a clump of tissues that were together and they divided during your fetal development? So it's interesting how, your gut and your brain really works together. I absolutely love that little tidbit. One thing about the vagus nerve, and if you guys want to go in and research and study this a little more, it's absolutely fascinating if you're a geek like me with some of the science behind stuff, is that compassion and gratitude stimulate the vagus nerve. So I have a question for you guys. What oil, if you guys can put this in the chat, I'm really curious, what oil helps you feel more compassionate or grateful? Because when you have that compassion and that gratitude, it actually stimulates the vagus nerve and improves your digestion. It improves your overall being. So we've got gratitude, present time, gratitude, northern lights, blacks, blues, joy, perfect. So as I go through this talk tonight, you guys, I want you guys to kind of customize your own holiday survival kit or your own digestive wellness program. Okay, so digestion starts in the brain. So, you know, grace or gratitude for the food is so, so important. And it's actually been scientifically proven that you're going to have better digestion. The vagus nerve is also responsible for hunger, elimination, pancreatic enzyme release, gallbladder function, intestinal blood flow, and it regulates inflammatory response. Another huge reason why gratitude is so, so important. So after the brain, then we get to the mouth. Here's some more fun, geeky science stuff. You guys ready? Chewing, okay? When we start to chew our food to allow us to absorb the more of the nutrients, how many chews do you guys think it's supposed to take before you swallow? I'm curious. Guys can put that in the chat. How many chews does it take, I feel like, to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? 16, 24, 30, 10. I know, right? My son, when he was a little guy, he literally put the food in his mouth. He didn't chew it at all, and he swallowed. I thought he was going to choke every single time. I was so terrified. But it's actually 32 times if it's soft food and 40 times if it's harder. How many of us actually sit there and chew our food that many times? I know I don't. And you guys, putting this presentation together and going through some of this stuff, honestly, is just kind of for my own benefit to try to remind myself of some of these things that we need to do to have healthier digestion. And they always say, if you want to learn it and you really want to know it, you got to teach it. So as you're going through this process with Young Living, if there's stuff you really want to get into your brain, learn it and teach it, learn it and teach it. So this is helping me. I hope it's helping you guys too. So people who do not chew their food enough before they swallow, they often develop digestive problems or greater risk of malnutrition and dehydration. That I did not know as far as the dehydration. But here's a super duper exciting thing. I'm going to actually start chewing my food. You guys are going to all probably be private messaging me. I chewed more. It's going to take me like 2 hours to eat my dinner. No, I'm kidding. Well, maybe not. Chewing your food reduces the overall food intake, and it's better for weight control. One of the other reasons is because it takes about 20 minutes for that signal from your stomach to get to your brain to tell you that it's even full. During that 20-minute period, the body's producing enough gastric enzymes and hormones, not only to help you digest your food, but also to start telling the brain, hey, they're full, stop. And I don't know about you guys, but most people eat food so fast. And if you go over to Europe, you know, typically 2 hours is normal, and they sit and they eat, and between every bite, they put their fork down. Just a really great tip, especially for the holidays, to chew more and put our fork down before every single bite. And just, you know, enjoy the time with family and friends and not be as stressed out, because when you're in that stress state, you're going to suppress the secretions that actually help you to digest your food. So just being cognizant of that, being aware of that is absolutely crucial. The small intestine, so we get down here to the small intestine. That's where the nutrients and vitamins, minerals, carbs, fats, and proteins, along with water from your food, can be used for fueling the body. Then we get down to the large intestine. The purpose is to absorb the salts from the materials that haven't been digested to get rid of any of the waste products left over. Weird, fun tip. Did you guys know okay, I'm going to let you guys get on here and type again. What is your poo made up of? Does anybody know what you digest it, it comes out. What is it made up of? I'm just curious to see what you guys think. What is poo to you? I don't see anybody. Digested food, waste, food, bacteria, no idea, no idea. Awesome, cool. So you guys are learning a few things. So poo is actually 75% water, 25% bacteria, viruses, and undigested food. Okay. How many of you know people that always get sick around the holidays? I love interactive talks, so this is really hard for me to not see everybody's faces all the time. How many of you, yes or no, you can just type in the chat, know people that typically get sick over the holidays? Okay. Well, you guys, your digestive system is responsible for, like I said, 70 to 80% of your immune system, right? It's also the engine that when working properly will give you the energy you desire if you treat it properly. The digestive system is the highway along which the microscopic nutrition travels and your cells are the final destination. So you can see this little mitochondria over here. I'm going to get to him next. The relationship between how and what we eat and how our body processes it equals exactly how we feel, okay? Because if we want to feel absolutely amazing throughout the holidays, you guys, we need to be aware that our brain, as soon as it sees that food, the digestion starts. We need to chew our food. We need to take smaller bites, put the fork down in between, slow down. But then also, how do we keep our energy up? To do that, we need to look at the mitochondria. We need to look at this little guy on the right hand of our screen. And don't worry, I'm not going to go through all this boring science stuff for too long. I'll get to the survival kit in just a little bit, okay? So we have a little energy Pac-Man in our bodies called mitochondria. They convert the fuel from the microscopic nutrition from the food we eat into form the cells that can be used to grow, reproduce, repair, and respond, okay? They play a huge role in our overall well-being. They turn our food and our oxygen into energy. Why is this so important? Okay, here's the cool part. You guys ready? They're very sensitive to damage. When they're not working properly, you're going to suffer with low energy, fatigue, memory loss, and rapid aging. When you see some people and you're like, oh my gosh, they're aging so fast. Well, this whole digestive system, and they're damaging their little mitochondria faster than anybody else, okay? Because they're not conscious of or even understand what it takes to protect these cells so that they can look younger longer. Fatigue, okay? So when we're eating all this food around the holidays, fatigue is the most common sign of poorly functioning mitochondria. They're just overwhelmed, they're overworked. If food is toxic, the digestive system is impaired, and so are the mitochondria. So when we think about toxic food, you guys, what are we talking about? We're talking about sugar, more sugar than normal. We're talking about food colorings and dyes. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people make salads. I know my in-laws make these like green Jello salads, and in Jello, there's so many food dyes, or the food colorings for cookies and cakes, all these different ingredients, not to mention just the amazing amounts of fat in everything, okay? So here's what harms the mitochondria. Number one, stress, okay? Number two, a sedentary lifestyle. That's why it's so important after you're done eating, or a little after, that you just get up and move, and we'll go through that. Number three, free radical damage. And you're like, okay, so all that toxic food stuff causes this free radical damage. What do I do about it? Well, that's where the Ningxia red comes into play, or your raspberries and your blueberries, okay? Because that actually helps to get some of that inflammation down. What impairs the little energy Pac-Man in your body? Exposure to infections, eating foods that you might have an allergic response to, toxins, and eating in excess of poor quality foods. And guess what, guys? A diet that's deficient in healthy vitamins and minerals. That's why for me, for my survival kit during the holidays, I'm making darn sure that I'm taking my master formula because I want to make sure I've got enough vitamins and minerals for my body to process some of those toxins if I do choose to eat some of that stuff. Okay. So what is the plan? How can you get through the holidays? Because you might want to overeat, and some of you don't want to overeat because you don't want the bloat. You want to feel more energy. You don't want to sleep all day because you really want to enjoy the time that you have with your family, friends, and loved ones, right? Well, in order to have healthy digestion, and one thing, to not overeat, you guys, you got to get this. I hope it doesn't go out of stock. I just ordered 6 of them myself. Is the ICP Daily. How many of you guys in the chat have tried the ICP Daily? It's absolutely fabulous. I try it in my shaker jar. And if it doesn't completely digest, there's these shakers that I absolutely love. They're Helimix, Helimix. I'll type it in the chat here. It's Helimix. It doesn't need, oops, dang it. Okay, maybe I can't type it in. Go back. But it's Helimix. I don't have to use one of those stainless steel balls. I can put anything in here. I can shake it up, and I'm so challenged by that. And it not the word digest, but it dissolves very, very good. And it tastes absolutely amazing. Thank you, Lisa. You got it, Helimix. But if you drink this every morning, you're going to find that your gut's going to feel a lot better. You're not going to eat as much throughout the day. And it also has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties in it to help that healthy gut. And if you guys suffer with any kind of gut issues, you're going to notice one of the coolest things about getting more fiber in your diet is that you're going to have more stools. Typically, people say, how often should you poop? Well, how often do you eat? If you eat 3 meals a day, you should go 3 times a day. And a lot of people I've heard, they're like, oh, the last time I went was like 2 weeks ago. Ooh, burger in, no burger out. No wonder you feel sick. But it has tamarind in it, which helps with indigestion, constipation, cramps, and bloating. It keeps you feeling fuller longer from overeating. And one of the things I worry about is, dang, I don't want to get to a holiday party and overeat. If you guys are taking ICP Daily every day, you're getting enough sleep, drinking some water, I can almost guarantee you, you're not going to have those cravings, and you'll see why in just a little bit. Okay. So number 1, make sure you're not stressed out. 2, chew your food, feed nobody's cows. And 3, get plenty of fiber. The next thing, after eating big meals, you guys, take time to move. It's really, really important. If you get out and just walk after you're done eating and you can increase your heart rate, what happens is it actually stimulates those smooth muscles in your gut to release. Not only do you feel better, but it also helps to stimulate digestion when you get out and walk. So things that I know I will have in my post-holiday or my holiday survival kit, some Digize if I'm not feeling motivated to get out and walk, maybe a little bit of motivation, maybe a little bit of energy, or even peppermint, just smelling it to get out there and get moving. So bring your boots, bring your, wherever you live, your tennis shoes with you, and get out and move with your family, or even get out and do some lunges or something, but get active because that definitely helps with digestion. The third thing for healthy digestion is prioritizing sleep. Now, I know this is a tough one, especially when we're getting together with family and friends and we want to stay up super late. But the problem is When you don't get enough sleep, you guys, your hormones can become unbalanced. The stress hormone cortisol goes up. An increased stress can cause permeability, AKA leaky gut. That's where your food and toxins pass into the intestine, into the bloodstream, making you feel like absolute crap. This can lead to that bloating, inflammation, and stomach pain. So people are like, during the holidays, they're like, oh, I just ate too much. Well, if you didn't get enough sleep the night before, or you haven't been getting enough sleep, you guys look at that. Be a little bit of a private detective. That can be part of the reason why you're having that horrible bloat, that inflammation and stomach pain. And a lot of people don't think about that when they're thinking about adequate digestion. Okay. So if you're not getting really good sleep, one of the things you might want to try is the Sleep Essence, or even ImmuPro, especially if you know somebody that is more has a tendency to get sick during the holidays. They could use the ImmuPro, and that's got a little bit of melatonin in it to help them get to sleep. I like to take Life 9 at night before I go to bed. There's been some research done that actually shows that taking your probiotics in the evening for some people help them sleep better. Lavender, I always love the trick with lavender. Too much lavender will keep you awake, and just enough lavender will put you to sleep. And everybody then always asks, well, Brenda, how much lavender do you use? I don't know, because I don't know your body and how fast you metabolize different things. So I love putting sacred sandalwood on my face. Not only does that help with wrinkles, but it really helps me to get into a really good, deep sleep. For some of you, you might like valerian or even cedarwood. I just put a few up here, you guys. You can go through some of your desk reference books and think about some of the things you might need to put in here for your holiday digestive survival kit. Okay. But I just want you to understand and know how sleep plays that role in proper digestion. The next thing is water. Usually my team gets sick of hearing me talk about water, but if you're not drinking enough water, it doesn't matter how many supplements you take, you're not going to feel better. You're about 80% water when you're born, 17% when you die. The body needs water to process absolutely everything. Okay. So if you're trying to not eat as much, it's really important to stay hydrated, because if you're getting enough water, a lot of times people don't eat more. If you're dehydrated, the large intestine, it's going to soak up whatever water it can from your food, making it hard to pass, causing pain, constipation, and if it goes on long enough, even hemorrhoids. If you're dehydrated for longer periods of times, you guys, it can even cause stomach ulcers and acid reflux. Excuse me. So some things you might want to have around for the holidays. Sorry, woofda. Some things you might want to have around for the holidays. I love the vitality drops, or even the golden turmeric in the morning. Excuse me. Or even making ninjatinis. Not only does that expose your friends and family to some of the products, but it's a way to get your ninja red in, to get rid of some of those free radicals if you've overeaten, to help protect that digestive system. So I like to mix the Ningxia Red with some Zing. If you have some nitro, if you're trying to stay a little more awake and alert, you can even throw that in there. And then throw in, a drop or two of some of your favorite essential oils. But be prepared for the holidays for success, to stay hydrated, especially if water just isn't your thing. Try to figure out, how can I stay hydrated throughout the holidays? So if you're putting your order together, golden turmeric, oh man, I love to put that. I put it in my frother with a little bit of almond milk, and that is absolutely amazing in the morning. If you wake up in the morning, one trick I learned, there was a pharmacist that I studied under who became a naturopathic medical doctor. And it was a course I took with 400 pharmacists. They were trying to learn homeopathy so they could help patients that they couldn't put on more meds. And one of the things he said to me, he said, if people wake up in the morning and they're coughing and hacking loogies, sorry, not to gross you guys out, but they have a lot of mucus. He said that's a sign of inflammation in the body. And one way to help combat that is lemon water in the morning. So if you start drinking some lemon water, see if you stop hacking and coughing and start feeling better in the morning. That was just one great trick that I've learned that's helped quite a few people. The next thing is stress. I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but because digestion starts in the brain, being able to control your stress is a huge key to health. And you saw that vagus nerve and how it innervated into your lungs and into the gallbladder and into your liver, okay? Literally your brain sends these signals down to cause stress in all these different areas. If you're not planning, okay, I love the planning calendar on my phone because I can time block different things and try so hard to think ahead of different things going on so I don't get too stressed out, because then we can control our stress. But if you're struggling, you can do some box breathing. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but you can take your stress away, or your orange peace and calming or whatever oil you've got that you absolutely love. Take a nice deep breath in for a count of 4. Let's do this together. You guys ready? So take a nice deep breath in for 4. Hold it for 4 and out for 4. You can take a break throughout the day to just help that nervous system to calm down. So keep your essential oils in your purse, put them in your diffusers, and just be conscious of all the different things that are going on and ask yourself the question, can I do this tomorrow? Does it all need to get done today? Because ladies, or some of the guys on here too, we can really overwhelm ourselves with so much stuff that we feel like super women, and we don't have to be super women. And ask yourself, is this something that I can delegate to someone else? Because a lot of times there's things that we're doing and we don't want to throw it on somebody else's plate or some of our kids or have them help us out with stuff, but just being cognizant of how our body truly is feeling, being present in the moment and tuned into how you feel, because that is really going to help you have really good digestion. I hope that's really helping you guys to understand how much it is to just check in, how important it is to check in with yourself periodically throughout the day and just ask yourself, how am I doing? Am I overwhelmed? Because if you want to feel better and have better digestion, being able to control that is so, so important. Okay. If you're getting the muffin top, ladies, you know what I mean. You might want to check out some cortisol, because you're obviously not, we're probably having trouble with some of our blood sugars, but also not dealing the best with stress. Super B, your body burns through B vitamins super fast when you're stressed out. I always know when I'm not doing so good, because Scott will actually bring the Super B bottle out and give it to me. And I'm like, okay, I must be being the bee. Brenda's the bee. She's getting the Super B. It literally makes a night and day difference. And then we've got big old Mr. Icky tasting mineral essence. That I will have bottles and bottles of that in my house always, because I have seen miracles with people's emotions, myself, or even just constipation. Boy, the magnesium in there, whew, or just take some extra fish oils, grease the poop chute. But mineral essence, you guys, for just an overall feeling of calm is absolutely amazing. If you've never tried it, or you have people that are just really, really overwhelmed, give mineral essence a try. I just put it in a little glass and do it like a shot. Yes, it tastes horrible. I warn people, but after they feel how they feel after taking mineral essence, they don't want to live without it. Minerals are just amazing for not only digestion, but emotional health and well-being as well. One of my absolute favorite products. And then number 7, this one's kind of like the duh, eat smaller portion sizes, right? Take it slow. Well, when remembering that the vagus nerve controls a lot of digestion, a lot of processes in the body, it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to tell the brain to stop eating, right? So remember to chew your food at least 30 to 40 times, put that fork down in between each bite, okay? And then if you did overeat or you want to have improved digestion, one of the biggest things I can't imagine not having my kids take or my family take or anybody take is enzymes. Now, how do you know if you should take essential zyme or essential zyme 4 and why do you take them? The enzymes actually help to break down your food better. So if you're not chewing your food 30 to 40 times every meal, you're not cognizant of that, you definitely need some help because you're putting that stress on the digestive system and on those little mitochondria Pac-Man, okay? Essential zyme, here's how I know to take essential zyme versus essential zyme 4. There's a little test you can do. You can take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, mix it in 2 ounces of water, okay? So take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, mix it with about 2 ounces of water and drink that. Then you're gonna want to eat after that. If you have more energy after doing the apple cider vinegar test, you'll need the essential zyme. If you do the apple cider vinegar test and then eat and you have your digestive system, your gut hurts, then you're going to want to take the essential zyme number 4. So if you take the apple cider vinegar and feel better after you eat, take essential zyme. If you feel worse, take essential zyme 4. Here's the reason for that. Essential zyme actually has something called hydrochloric acid in it, which actually helps to increase the stomach acid. Now, most people, when they think of reflux, they think, I have too much stomach acid. You guys, it's usually the opposite. You don't have enough to digest the food, okay? But if you take it, somebody's ever had like say H. pylori or different stomach problems or issues, they can't handle that extra stomach acid. They're going to want to take the essential zyme number 4. Okay, I can type that out later or at the end too. One thing that I will probably never take off my bathroom counter is detoxime. I take handfuls of that before I go to bed. Now, you guys, you might want to start out slow and take 1 or 2, but they help to digest unwanted like carbs, different things in the body. If you take an enzyme with your food, here's the exciting thing. If you take an enzyme with your food, it actually helps you to digest your food. If you take it between meals, okay, 2 hours before, is it 45 minutes before or 2 hours after? That's what an empty stomach is 45 minutes before or 2 hours after is considered as empty stomach. Then the enzymes actually act like a little Pac-Man and clean up all the debris and the junk. And they have an anti-inflammatory type action, okay? They just think of them like the cleaner upper on the streets. You know, they're just going and sweeping up all the junk and all that stuff. That's what detoxime on an empty stomach will do. We actually had, when Scott had his chiropractic office, patients would come in, they'd been in really bad car accidents and they couldn't take anti-inflammatories like Advil, ibuprofen, some of those things. We'd actually give them high doses of protease, which is an enzyme to help break down proteins to decrease inflammation in the body. So they're absolutely amazing on an empty stomach. And if you have a digestive system that needs a little extra help, detoxime is going to be one of those things. And especially if you know you're going to cheat on the holidays, detoxime right before you go to bed. I can't stress that one enough. Oops. How did I do this again? Me and technology, I tell you. All right. So the problem, overeating, solution, enzymes are absolutely huge. But then you've also got some digestive oils, you guys. Digize, oh my goodness, this is what got me into Young Living. This is what changed my life. Digize put me onto a track to actually change my career. Digize completely changed my life. I thought I was going to be on those OTCs forever, but Digest, if you can put that on after eating too, it's absolutely amazing. If you're getting any cramps because you've overeaten or different things, take a hot wet towel, put that over the top. That really helps to soothe the digestive system as well. Another one of my absolute favorites for digestion, constipation and brain fog. Not going, basil has become one of my absolute best friends. If I'm like brain foggy and just like, part of the Fuller family, you just ate too much and you're bloated. Basil is one of my favorites. I talked about lemon already as far as doing that in the morning. And then orange oil, just putting that in some Ningxia red or even bergamot to help with inducing better digestion. But that's pretty much it for some things. I know that's a lot of information, you guys, that I covered, but if you want healthy digestion, just start looking at those 6 different things that I talked about and just start making baby steps and just little changes. Know that sleep makes a big difference. Know that gratitude for what you're about to eat makes a huge difference. Know that chewing makes a huge difference. Do more of it and put your fork down. Know that getting more fiber will help you digest your food better. It'll help balance blood sugars. It will help, just with better digestion and elimination. Take time to move. Just get up 15 minutes and increasing your heart rate is absolutely huge. And then sleep helps with the hormones, but also with the digestion. So if you're dealing with that bloat, inflammation, and stomach pain, be a private detective and think about that. Maybe one of my favorite things is to get a 32-ounce stainless steel jug and keep that with me at all times, because if you're dehydrated, remember that large intestine it'll soak up from your food, whatever it eats. And if you're not getting hydrated, you're going to have more pain and constipation. So maybe keep some extra Ningxia red, some vitality drops or Zing around just to stay a little more hydrated. Watch out for the stress. Watch your portion sizes. Keep your favorite oils and some of the supplements I talked about with you to have a healthier digestion. And don't forget, I know this sounds crazy, baby, but I feel like we have a real connection here. They always say, trust your gut's feelings. So just know, you guys, that the brain and the gut are connected. It's not just always eating healthy that's going to give you proper, optimum digestion. So I hope you guys learned a few little tricks tonight. If you want to connect and ask me more questions, here's where you guys can find me. I haven't done a side-by-side comparison. Carol, do you know the biggest difference between that one? ICP Daily and ICP. I know the ICP Daily dissolves in water, and the regular ICP, if you don't shake it up and drink it instantly, it's going to be so gelatinous, you're not going to get it down. So the ICP Daily for me, you guys, is just knocks it out of the park because I can actually get it down. Whereas the ICP Daily or the ICP is just really gelatinous. And you'll notice too, when you take it, your poop even looks kind of like Jello more. I don't know. I'm not doing a good job explaining the difference between the two, but ICP Daily for the win is all I've got to say.
Can you repeat the apple cider vinegar and essential zyme again? A few people asked about that.
Oh, sure. So the apple cider vinegar little test is you can just take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, put it in about 2 ounces of water. And then eat. If you feel better, you're going to want to take just the regular essential zyme. If you feel worse, take essential zyme 4. Then you don't have to buy essential zyme and essential zyme 4 and have both. It's just a little test, quick test you can do at home. If you've got some of that apple cider vinegar with mother, just do a little bit of that. If it flares you up, take essential zyme 4. If you feel better, take the regular essential zyme. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, you could just start with them before you could do your lemon water if you wanted, or if you don't want to start digestion. Just like, let's say you eat 10 or 11 o'clock, just start your day with your supplements then. I guess it's kind of a preference. Because usually, honestly, I don't eat breakfast till 10 or 11, and that's when I'll take all my stuff. But you could even take detox time if you were trying to, if you knew you had a really empty stomach, would be great in the morning as well.
Yeah, I don't typically eat until at least afternoon, so I haven't usually had anything from 8 p.m. till at least noon. So I just wondered how the ICP daily, I've even wondered about the lemon in the water, but I still will do that. I figure that's not a real big breaker. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I was just worried about doing like the ICP daily. I don't even drink my Ningxia until in the afternoon. So just wondering if you knew how to incorporate.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Carol, would that break an intermittent fast though? By taking anything other than water? It shouldn't.
I would think that that would be okay with intermittent fasting as long as you're not taking it with food.
Yeah, the ICB daily, I'd probably wait till later, but
Yeah.
lemon water and some of that stuff I wouldn't worry so much about.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not sure, Lisa, so I'd have to look into intermittent fasting and see what would deactivate it. If maybe anybody on the call knows, you could private message Lisa with some of that information, because I'm not 100% positive, Lisa.
Tom Nikolov is awesome resource on intermittent fasting, and I'm sure that he would be happy to answer that question on, Facebook Messenger or something. And you can let him know I said that.
Okay, thank you. What was his name again?
Tom Nicola. I'll put it in the chat, and if you forget it, just text me.
Okay.
Tom, oops. Oh,
Thank you.
yep.